he's a huge family man, and the one thing that you have to understand about that is that while Raul has his own family, his wife and his children, that family probably includes a couple hundred others.
He has a very charitable heart, and you cannot tell Raul no, because once you say he can do something, he'll go and he'll find a way to do it.
If you're a fan of Winnie the Pooh, you never get Eeyore out of Raul. He is Tigger all the time. He is bouncing around happy.
He always says that he wants to be a stealth Mexican. He wants to do things stealthily, and he doesn't want to cause a big ruckus. He just wants to get things done and do things for people. And so I think it's great that maybe for this one time he can stop being stealthy and just be recognized for all the good that he's done.
I was born in Zapopan, which is on the outskirts of Guadalajara. I came along in 1965. My mother was 52 and my dad was 64. My parents couldn't have children, so it was kind of one of those deals that they always wanted children. And my mom would tell me a story of her going to see La Virgen de San Juan de los Lagos, which is a virgin in a beautiful basilica in San Juan de los Lagos, Jalisco. My mom would pray that she had a child. And I'll be darned if it didn't work. That prayer works. She would always go back and thank La Virgencita for my arrival. I mean, when I was a teenager, she probably had some second thoughts about thanking her, but I think for the most part, she was very grateful. My dad had already been in the United States for several years working. He decided that he wanted my mother and I to grow up in the United States. So we made the trek when I was very small and got here to Dallas when I was a toddler. As soon as I learned how to speak English, my mom wanted to take me to parochial school. My mom was provided tuition assistance even back then. Right about that time, my father passed away, so it's kind of a difficult time. I went to St. Mary of Carmel. I was there at 7th and 8th grade, and then I went to Bishop Lynch, so I'm a friar, and I was at Bishop Lynch through high school, so I kind of made my way through the parochial schools. My first jobs were walking a neighbor's dog, and she gave me 10 cents for every time I went around the block with them, so that was kind of a fun deal. I think I had about a dozen jobs before I got to 1st or 2nd grade. I was a paper boy. There was a gas station, and I would pump gas there and run the cash register for them. I worked at different restaurants until I got my first moped. Kirk Dooley was the gentleman that had the moped store. I think I got a graduate level education on entrepreneurship just working for him.
His, I think, pitch to Kirk was, hey, I'll do anything you want me to do. You know, if I could just earn some money, you tell me what I'll do, what you need me to do, and I'll do it. And so he had a very kind of, that same kind of can-do, attitude even as a kid.
My first big spend that I had is I bought my mom a TV. And I think I told Kirk that I wanted to buy a TV, and he took a little bit out of my check every week, and we saved up, and lo and behold, I got to come home with a really neat TV, so it was a neat deal. Wasn't much to watch back then. I think my mom probably spent it watching Lawrence Welk shows or something like that, but if you remember those. Yeah. Through Kirk's insistence, I mean, I wanted to go into business right away, and he was adamant that I needed to go to Texas Tech. I only lasted 2.5 years. I was so anxious to get back to work. When I came back, I worked as a waiter at the mansion on Turtle Creek, and one of the banquet waiters was my friend Gonzalo Munoz. So he made the god-awful mistake of having me over his house one Sunday. I saw this really good-looking young lady, and I decided to go and talk to her.
Oh, eso fue muy especial, porque muchas personas no creen en el amor a primera vista, pero me flechó. Me enamoré de él a la primera vista.
We dated for about 1.5 years and got married. Come September, it'll be 30 years. I have 4 beautiful kids. I have my oldest daughter, Mariela, is 24. And she is a student at NYU, and she's doing her master's there.
My dad was always there for us for school. He went to all my soccer games.
My next son is Raul Jr., and he is a senior at SMU.
It was always lighthearted, I guess. My dad likes to joke around a lot.
Then I have my clone, Alejandro. He's going to Mountain View, and he also works full-time with me.
I learn more from my dad than I do at school, so it's actually really cool. I'm gonna hopefully graduate with the degree in the Raul Estrada Construction School.
My little one is the ruler of the universe, you know, or at least at home, and her name is Jimena, and she is 12 years old and is a student at St. Monica's.
He is an extremely good dad. I love him a lot.
I got into the restaurant business and made friends with everybody. Those people turned out to be tradesmen. I had sheetrockers, I had concrete guys, I had brick masons, and they got to be my friends. As I was growing and I was building more and more restaurants and sports bars, they helped me build locations. They're kind of like the unsung heroes. I mean, they'll work a full 9-10 hours at their regular job and then come in and work another 4 or 5 hours with me until 9-10 o'clock in the evening. Not only are they my friends, but I have a lot of respect for them as workers. They're just class acts, and they're people that are really neat.
Raul began his charitable works in the Dallas community in the early 80s when he started building housing for his employees who were having trouble finding affordable housing.
With his employees, he's always making sure they're okay, they're looked out for, that they're not missing anything, that they're not in need of anything.
He's a really good person, really good boss, you know. He has a really good heart, so I cannot work with nobody else that doesn't have the heart that he has.
Y cada día aprendemos muchas cosas buenas, muchas cosas mejor y mejor, cómo hacerlo con el cliente.
Well, it's a good man and a funny boss.
My first job with Raul was with the Hispanic Youth Foundation. He's one of his first nonprofits. I was very timid, and he's like, yeah, you can do this. I grew a lot personally-wise just because he put me in a situation where I had to do it, and I will forever be grateful for that.
With regards to the projects for the diocese, it began with the Gym and Community Center at St. Mary of Carmel.
During one of our building committee meetings, he walks in with a mutual friend and told us that he could fund the project, fundraise the project, and then construct it.
He's helped schools, he's renovated institutions, he's helped churches. He was a founding board member of Cristo Rey.
What I like about the Cristo Rey model is that how they empower children in the neighborhood. So I kind of look at it as to my kind of upbringing. You know, these kids, they get to work for their tuition, and the work-study program is, I think, what makes it special.
Raul was a critical part of helping us identify a site, helping us identify what the campus would look like. It's not a far stretch to say that this building would not exist if Raul Estrada and Mercer Construction had not been a part of making it happen.
When you think about how he has helped our community, helped Catholic Charities, he's always there ready to jump in and help us get the next job done. Our Central Services Center here at 1421 Mockingbird really came to be because Raul and his team were willing to help us make a project happen quickly, effectively, and efficiently.
It's not just he's built a lot of buildings, it's his ideas. Things like Pope in the Park.
Several years ago, when there was a papal event, Raul determined that he was going to have that telecast downtown in what's now Clyde Warren Park.
He got the AV equipment donated, and he raised some money, and the Catholic Foundation was a sponsor. It was over 4,000 people.
He's continually trying to make life better for everybody he comes across. Every time he sees an opportunity to change something and make it better, whether it's be with bricks and mortar or just good works, he does it.
Be Golden is a movement that stresses that we should treat others the way we want to be treated. It follows the tenets of the Golden Rule. It's a campaign that for tolerance. It's a social movement to treat immigrants better.
For us not to recognize the wonderful benefits that the immigrants have given to us, and I mean the recent immigrants, mostly more from Mexico, but if we go back to the history of this country, I mean, we're all immigrants.
Raul's involvement in our board led to the foundation becoming, I feel, more diversified. Led to other board members who were more part of the fabric of the community and helped us be a little more representative of the people we were trying to serve.
I think at every turn, I've had people that just go out of their way to embrace me and to make me feel welcome. I remember going to some of my first meetings when I got to be on the board of the Catholic Foundation. I walked in with my Tommy Bahama shirt. And of course I'm thinking, this is how I should dress. But I get there and everybody's got suits on. Some of the guys, the first thing they did was they took their jackets off and they took their ties off and they sat next to me and just to make me feel more welcome. And so I would wish that with our Hispanic community, especially with the immigrant community, that we take that community, embrace them the same way, and I guarantee you the results will be well worth the effort.
The thing I like best of Raul is his work ethic.
He's always thinking of others.
Persona humilde. Cuando anda alegre.
Por su inteligencia.
How giving he is.
The thing I like best about Papa is that he's always there for us no matter what.
He's the hardest working man I've ever seen.
He's always understanding.
My dad is very kind.
He loves everybody.
He's a real friend.
His kind heart.
Has a heart of gold.
Un corazón muy grande.
His sense of humor and his kindness.
He's genuine.
Genuineness.
The thing I like best about Raul is his great dedication to his family, his community, and his church.
The thing that I like best about Raul is he's my friend. Just plain and simple.
I have a real sense of what the award is and what it's supposed to be and what it is supposed to represent. And Raul represents everything that award's supposed to be.
Raul receiving this award, I think, really shows that our community really does value everyone and looks around the whole community for the best of the best each year. And Raul fits the bill.
He is a part of what makes this city run. There are a lot of people who think they make this city run by talking. Raul makes this city run because he does.
He knows what it's like growing up and needing help and having that help, and he wanted to be able to help others.
Even with all he's done, he doesn't think that it's been enough, and he always wants to do more for the community. And I really respect that and I really admire that.
I was not really involved in the community the way I am now. Now I'm involved in a lot of things too, but it's because of him, it's because of Raul.
He deserves the award because he spent so many nights without sleeping, trying to think of ways that he could help them more.
Estoy muy orgullosa de ti, papá, de todo lo que has hecho por la comunidad y te quiero mucho.
He is a perfect example, if I may borrow a phrase from our Jesuit friends. He is certainly a man for others.
He's been successful in business, but I think much more importantly, he's figured out what success in life is all about. And that's about giving to other people and not being so concerned about yourself.
When I would come to these dinners, I'd hear stories of people that were successful businessmen and women, and these priests that had given their entire lives to serving. And I'd come out and think, I can do more. I need to do more. I think you walk out here thinking I can change the world. And I think if enough of us have that kind of attitude and feeling, we can really change the world.